That's annoying. Alrighty, we're gonna try this again. Oh, we don't need to be so close, do we? So close. There we go, that's better. Oh. Hopefully the internet's better today. I think we were just getting into the dinner rush in regards to the internet. So I think that's why everything was so bogged down yesterday. So I figured we'd try again today. I'm going to be going over all of my retail items that I have. Yay, you can hear me. Good, I'm not talking to nobody. So I'm going to be going over all of the retail items that I have for sale. That way, if anybody has questions about what's best for their pets or anything like that, we can go ahead and maybe take care of that here. And you can see me. Hi! Alrighty, so we can hear, we can see, and we're all good. This is a little zoomed in more than I'd like. I thought I had it zoomed out earlier, but I guess that's not the way live works. It's different than just your regular camera. Alright. Lighting's good, I'm not too dark. I don't know if I should wait until a couple more people are able to pop on and see, or, I mean, I guess this video will be posted afterwards anyway. So anybody can see and then ask questions later if they feel like they need to. So, okay. So we got Start Fresh, as if I've never done this yet. Okay, so the first thing is toothpaste. Brushing your dog's teeth sounds absurd. I get it. I totally understand. But it is something that is actually important, and I'm absolutely guilty of not doing it myself. I do have like a water additive that I put into our water dish that's supposed to help with the plaque buildup and stuff. So that is something that you can do too if that's easier for you. But this is an enzymatic toothpaste. See if I can get it in there so you can see it. Might be backwards, so you might not be able to read it. But anyway, this is a 2.5 ounce bottle for $5 that I have. This is poultry flavor. For some reason, I noticed most of people's dogs like poultry versus beef. I don't know what it is, but so I went ahead and got those. What I love most about the enzymatic toothpaste, to be perfectly honest, don't know if they make regular just toothpaste for dogs, but I always get enzymatic toothpaste. Because then that way you don't have to actually physically brush their teeth for God knows how long. Most of the time, if you can at least get them to lick this and get it in their mouth, their tongue moving around is actually going to work the toothpaste around their teeth and kind of brush their teeth for you. So you by no means have to brush their teeth for 2 minutes. And then it also does kind of help freshen their breath a little bit also. So again, that's the enzymatic toothpaste in poultry flavor. And then with that, of course, you're going to need a toothbrush. There are multiple different toothbrushes. There's some of the little finger ones that just go over your finger. And you can do that, but not a lot of people like to put their finger in their dog's mouth, and I get that. So I went ahead and got some of the regular toothbrushes, like the regular length. And these actually have a little bit of a flexible head, just to kind of help get way, way back in there, if you're able to, obviously. To be perfectly honest, with this toothpaste, I don't even half the time use a toothbrush because the dogs love it. My dogs do anyway. Others may not. So I've got a bunch of these. So if you buy one tube, you'll get a toothbrush to come with it. Let's see. Alright, we'll go to some of the sprays. So this is actually, it's a perfume. Mainly used for perfume, but can be used for brushing, using as a brushing spray also. So that's always, like, a dual purpose is always nice, because then that way you can use it as a brushing spray and then it smells nice versus smelling like nothing. So I have a couple of scents here. I've got apple and lily, apricot and lily. We got tropical breeze. And then ruby red grapefruit. So these are maybe about 2 ounces. If I had to take a guess, 2.5 ounces, and these are $2. Well, if you buy a tube of the toothpaste, you automatically get the toothbrush. Otherwise, the toothbrushes are 75 cents. So that's these perfume, the perfume brushing spray, $2 for about 2.5 ounces. And then the big guy, this is Ultramax Finishing Spray. This is actually what I use here when I groom your dog. I use it for a brushing spray. I use it for static. I use it for brushing out tangles. It's awesome and it works for so many different things. And this is a 17-ounce bottle for $13, but you can dilute it further if you need to. It is pre-diluted, but you can always dilute it more depending on what you're really wanting to use it for. What was I going to say? Forgot I was going to say something about this. When you use a brushing spray, make sure you don't want to get them wet. You just want to mist their hair, kind of like your hairstylist does when they brush your hair. It just kind of helps it glide a little bit smoother. So you don't want to get them wet. So you really don't need a heck of a lot. If you do dilute this, make sure you use distilled water. Do not use tap water. This was something I learned a couple of years ago that I wish I had known a lot sooner. If you just use water to dilute some of these products, they last so long that bacteria will start to grow in that product, which then you don't want to be putting that on your dog. So always make sure you use distilled water. Makes the product last a lot longer and you can still dilute it and not have any issues. How often should you change your toothbrushes? I personally, I use it maybe once or twice and then I throw it in the dishwasher. You could just soak it in a cup with some soap and stuff too, just to clean, because the toothpaste is obviously kind of sticky and whatnot. So I mean, one toothbrush could last you quite a long time depending on how you take care of it. Alrighty, so those are that. Alright, so this little nifty thing, I don't know if you can see it, is the Magic Block. I don't exactly use this specific one. I only bought 3 of these to sell, and I wish I bought more because I'd like to use it because it seems very nice. But I'm going to open this one. They came in like a variety of colors, so there's green, orange, and then the blue. But this has multiple uses. So this is the Magic Block for $7. This you probably won't ever have to replace unless you lose it, because it'll probably last you forever. So this actually has a bunch of different sides on it. So this side, you can actually use it to help take hair off of your clothes, your furniture, anything like that. And then the little prickly sides are kind of depending on your dog. So the shorter stubby one would be used more for a boxer or a pit bull. And then the medium side would probably be used for maybe a shepherd or something like that. So this is by no means a brush to brush out tangles or anything. This is meant for getting out loose coat, because it's rubber, so it's gonna grip the hair. So it's by no means a comb to get out the tangles and get out the undercoat and everything. But it's really good to help with the shedding, especially if you've got a shorter haired dog. If I can put it back in a box. Okay. So the most important thing are these 2 things for most dog owners or cat owners. If you have a pit bull or a boxer or a lab, these aren't going to really do anything for you, but most of the population has dogs that need their hair brushed or either short, depending on what they want to do. So this is called a Greyhound comb. It is all metal. I don't know what type of steel, probably stainless steel. But it is, you've got these finer sides, and then these have the wider gaps in there. So again, it's going to depend on your dog's coat, what you're going to want to use it for. And then this is a slicker brush. I don't know if I can get it in there so you can see. But it has, so the pins are not straight. They're actually a little kinked. And you actually want that to grip any like tangles or anything like that. So you can use this, brush out your dog. I kind of wish I had a dog to show you how to properly brush, but Lily's getting old and she doesn't really tolerate a lot of the grooming anymore. So, but no, you can brush your dog with this and still miss tangles and stuff, because they make lots of different brushes with lots of different lengths of these. So depending on your dog's coat length, I just kind of got the medium one, just because I figured it was going to fit most people's breeds and their dogs and what they're going to do. And then so this actually will get to the skin. So you would brush them with this, and then you would go back over them with this, and this would catch any tangle, any knot, anything you missed at all. So these two always have to go into conjunction together pretty much. So the combs are $5, and this, again, will last you forever. And then I believe I think this was $5 also, which this would last you a very long time. Again, also it just kind of depends on your dog, their coat, and what you plan on doing, or how often you plan on doing it. Another little neat trick that I learned, because some of these are hard to clean out after a while, and so I'll actually use the comb and put it through the bristles, and it helps pull out all the hair, because sometimes it hurts your fingers to like try to dig in there and try to get all the little hairs out. And that's just my little retail, not a heck of a lot. I figured I just wanted to at least provide what I think was the most important for a pet. Brushing their teeth is very, very important. Dental health on your dog is very, very important. I know a lot of people don't think about that, but just like with us, when our teeth hurt, we don't feel good. So it's kind of the same thing. What was the other thing? Oh, and then of course brushing your dog, brushing your pet, keeping them tangle free. It makes their lives a little easier because, you know, just like with your own hair, if you brush your hair before it gets tangled, it doesn't hurt. But once it gets tangled, it can be uncomfortable and could hurt. So I always think brushing, even just the most minimal of brushing, just to straighten out the hair a little bit so it doesn't tangle. And what a lot of people don't seem to realize, and I guess I didn't really either, but is anywhere there is friction, you have a collar, you have a harness, you know, you think about the armpits, you know, the tail is always moving, so their tail is always rubbing. So anywhere that there is friction, there is going to be matting. You know, odds are your dog has enough hair. So that's very, very important, because I've had so many people bring in a dog, you know, be like, oh, we brush them all the time, but then they always have a harness for the car rides or something, which is very commendable that people can do that. My dog won't sit still in one spot in the car, so I can't I can't do that. But no, so brushing then of course makes my job easier. If, you know, if your dog is overly tangled, it takes extra time, which means it costs extra money. So then it'll save you money in the long run, and then it's kind of a bonding experience for you and your pet too. You can look at it as a great bonding experience. Same thing with a cat. I don't know how cats would cats are cats. But yeah, you could just make it like a end of the day, sitting watching some TV, your dog jumps up to cuddle, you can brush a little bit. You know, it's just kind of a good thing. It's good for blood flow. I mean, I guess. Depending. I mean, of course, just petting your dog would probably be the same as brushing, but other than that. So I'm glad at least that this seemed to work out this time around, the live. I don't know if it was my computer, because I was trying to do it from my computer, or if it was just internet in general was just really bogged down. So anyway, at least it worked now. And again, if anybody has questions about what products, even if I don't carry them, even if I don't have them to sell to you, I would gladly tell you where you can get certain tools, what's best for your pet to take care of them at home. I mean, I just want your pet to be happy. You know, like, they're happy, their coat looks good, their skin's good. It's just all happy in general. So I guess if anybody has any other questions, of course, I have all of this currently at home, so you can buy it whenever you come in for your appointment. If you want to just stop by and pick it up, that's fine also. Just kind of give me a text or a call just as a heads up so I know to be expecting you. Especially if I might be working on a dog. I don't tend to like to leave the pet at all while they're there. I like to just keep them on the table and just groom them straight through, which is typically what I do anyway. But I don't tend to like get distracted. So, but other than that, I hope this answered any other questions. And I do have, Mom, I do have that that spray, the tropical breeze little spray for Hannah. So I'll bring that up with me. Yeah. Oh, the other good thing about this slicker brush, this one specifically, is it has different length pins on it. So I think there's 2 different lengths in here. So that'll kind of help too. It helps a little bit with like not providing too much irritation, which is another important thing that I see with a lot of people that do like Furminator tool. I typically stay away from that tool. It can work, or it does work. It's just a matter of sometimes it gets overused and that's when the problems arise. So you don't ever want to press too hard when you're brushing. You should just kind of just let the weight of the brush, you know, unless you kind of need to get in there a little bit, but you want to do it very minimally. Dog skin is quite sensitive, so you don't want to, you know, if you do this in the same spot for too long, just like if you were to do it on your own skin, it'd start to hurt after a while. So kind of the same thing, and like I said, I feel like that happens with the Furminator tool, is that people go over their, you know, the very ridge of their back over and over and over and over and over again. They don't realize that after a while it's starting to get irritated, and so that, you know, was one complaint I've heard before was scratches. For those that don't know what the Furminator is, it's this little tool. Kind of just like it's basically a blade on a handle. It's kind of like the old school carding method. It's not used quite the same, but it's supposed to mimic that. I have one just because I've had one, and it does sometimes pick up a little bit on certain dogs, but other than that, I typically don't use it overly on any specific dog or breed. Really, that was pretty much it. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of retail, but I just kind of wanted to go over if anybody happened to have questions about certain things or maybe what's best for their pet. And again, always feel free to text me. I'm always available. So you can just text me if you have a question, or if you want to ask recommendations of what I have, or if you need, you know, if you need a bigger brush than this, I'll let you know where to get one, because for bigger dogs, I mean, this would work. But it might take a while because, of course, it's a little smaller. And then, of course, they have some that have the longer pins. So if you have a longer dog or longer coat on your pet, that will definitely work a little bit easier, because then you don't have to go through it quite as often to get all the tangles and stuff out. So, well, it doesn't look like there's anybody else here, so it's just me and my mom. So, I guess I'll just go ahead and end it. So, have a good weekend.